Hey guys, come on downstairs. We're playing Minnesota Twins franchise. It's MLB The Show 18. And today we've got a good one for you. It's a 3-game series against the Chicago White Sox from the south side of the Windy City. And we are going to break into the month of September. The home stretch is on the horizon. We're just heading into the final turn here of year number 3. We come in at 72-61. The Sox are 53-80, tied for the worst record in the American League. Let's look at our starting lineups. We're going to go with Myers, Piscotty, Nunez, Sano, Rosario, Valbuena, Mesoraco, Peterson, and Buxton. Our normal starting lineup, they are going with Eaton, Jackson, Abreu, Frazier, Cabrera, Garcia, Manning, Kevin Smith behind the plate, Tim Anderson at shortstop, and we have got Taylor Rogers on the hill today, making the start in place of Alex Wood, who is on the 10-day DL. And he will face Carson Fulmer, who is 4-10, making his 21st start of the year, a 3.85 ERA for the White Sox. Look at highlights started here in inning number 1. Stephen Piscotty at the plate. He's batting .244 with 14 home runs and 47 driven in. And the delivery from Carson Fulmer is driven to the opposite field. And you know what that line means. It is a home run for Stephen Piscotty. And it puts the Twins up 1-0 in the top of the first. Let's get into the second inning. Devin Mesoraco, batting .245 with 14 home runs on the year, 34 RBIs. 18th pitch of the day from Carson Fulmer. And Mesoraco's going to sky this one to right field. That one's heading towards foul territory. Adam Eaton runs a marathon, 26.2 miles to get to that baseball, and he makes the diving play. Middle of the second inning, still 1-0 Twins. In the fourth, Avisail Garcia, 9 home runs on the year, 45 RBIs. Runner on second, he's going to line it up the first baseline. That one's inside the bag. It's going to roll to the wall. Stephen Piscotty has it. A run comes in to score, and Garcia is on with an RBI double. So we're through 4 here in Chicago. We're all tied up at 1. To the 6th inning of this game number 1, Brandon Kinsler on to relieve Taylor Rogers, and he's going to face Tim Anderson with runners on first and second and 2 outs. On an 0-2 count, a line drive to right field, and Stephen Piscotty is no Adam Eaton. He cannot come up with the catch. And Tim Anderson gets the RBI to put the White Sox up 2-1. Next batter lines one into the left center field gap. Byron Buxton on his horse after it. But he is not going to prevent 2 runs from scoring. And the White Sox jump out to a 4-1 lead. Adam Eaton can not only run and catch, but he can hit. He gets the RBI, the 2 RBIs there. Trevor May on for the Twins now. Appearance number 50 on the year. He's facing second baseman William Manning, who's 2 for 3 on the day, on an 0-1 count. And that breaking ball stays up in the zone. And William Manning delivers it into the bullpen. A towering high home run down the left field line for Manning. Puts the White Sox up 5-1 at the end of the 8th inning. And that is how the game ends. White Sox lead the season series 9-5, and we lose a little bit of ground to the Tigers, who are 3.5 games behind us. The Indians are 9 back on the season. Carson Fulmer with the win. Taylor Rogers falls to 1-2 for us as we head into this middle game of the 3-game series, game number 135 on the year. Quick look at our batting orders. Myers, Piscotty, Nunez, Sano, Rosario, Valbuena, Mesoraco, Peterson, and Buxton for us. The White Sox are going to go with Adam Eaton, Melky Cabrera, Jose Abreu, Todd Frazier, Deoner Navarro, Garcia, William Manning, Drew Stubbs in center, and Tim Anderson, the shortstop again. For Chicago, Kyle Gibson will go for us, 3.16 ERA, 153 strikeouts to just 24 walks and a whip that's just barely under 1. And Ken Stewart will make his first start of the year. 3.31 ERA in just 16 1/3 innings. We go to the second inning. Eddie Rosario, batting .289, 12 home runs. Facing Stewart, and Rosario's going to hit this one deep to left center field. And that one is going to drift out. Eddie Rosario leads off the game with a solo home run. Second time in a row the Twins have started out the scoring with a solo blast. Luis Valbuena up after Rosario. And Valbuena goes Val bye-bye. Back-to-back home runs for the Twins puts them up 2-0 in the top of the second. We go to inning number 3. This is Byron Buxton at the plate for the Twins. Stewart still on the hill. Buxton grounds it to short. Tim Anderson's got to rush his throw because of the speed of Buxton, and he ends up throwing the ball away. It pulls Abreu off the bag, and Byron Buxton comes up in pain after that pickoff play. He's back safely, but Emilio Bonifacio is going to have to come in to replace him. With Will Myers at the plate, Bonifacio off and running, and Boney is going to be thrown out. Gotta believe Buxton would have swiped that bag. But with 1 out, a 1-2 count, Will Myers laces it into the right center gap. Of course, Byron Buxton, if he was still on first, probably would have scored on that hit. But Will Myers to second with 1 out in the inning. Michael Inoa on now for the White Sox, facing Eduardo Nunez. Nunez batting .302. One of 2 Twins to have a batting average over 300, him and Will Myers. And Nunez lines it into the left field corner. Myers comes in to score from second, and Nunez slides in safely with an RBI double to put the Twins up 3-0 in the middle of the third. To the 6th, Jace Peterson, .282 average, 8 home runs, 40 RBIs. With a runner on second, the score 4-0. And he is going to loop this one into left field. Diving play is not made by Garcia. And Jace Peterson is running for days out there. He ends up with a stand-up triple. The Twins lead 5-0 in the middle of the 6th, trying to set up a rubber match in this 3-game series. Arodys Vizcaíno in now for appearance number 56. 5.30 ERA. And he will face Drew Stubbs, center fielder for the White Sox, with a runner on first and 2 outs, 0-2 count. And Drew Stubbs is going to split the defenders in right and center field. Bonifacio takes a bad angle to it, and the run comes in to score, making it 5-2 at the end of 7. We go on to the 8th now. JT Chargois on. 2.28 ERA for him. He's facing Todd Frazier. The Todd father is 2 for 3 on the day with 2 doubles. He has the bases loaded with nobody out, and he's going to ground the ball to the right side. Will Myers looking for the double play on to Nunez. Back to Chargois covering first, but he cannot get the out. 1 run comes in to score, 1 out recorded. But the Twins get another shot at the double play, and this one a lot easier, gets them out of the inning, and we end up holding on for a 7-3 win. White Sox lead the season series 9-6. Kyle Gibson gets the win. That is Gibby's 13th win of the season. He goes 6 innings, giving up 1 run and 11 strikeouts on the day for Gibson. JT Chargois gets the save, just his 2nd of the season, as we move on to the 3rd and final game of the series. Quick look at the batting orders again. Myers, Piscotty, Rosario, Sano, Nunez, Peterson, Vargas, John Ryan Murphy. Behind the plate, it's a day game after a night game. It's also getaway day as we get set to head to Kansas City after this game is completed. Emilio Bonifacio batting 9th for us. And we're going to have Jose De Leon on the hill. 20th start of the year. He's 6-2 with a 3.76 ERA. And he is going to be up for a challenge facing Chris Sale, who has a 2.81 ERA and a 1.10 whip, 2nd inning. William Manning at the plate. He's batting .234, 10 home runs, but 59 RBIs, so he has been a run-producing machine for the White Sox from deep in their batting order, but he is going to fly out to Stephen Piscotty in right center field. The end of 2. We are still scoreless. Here on a nice little day game in September, Melky Cabrera at the plate facing De Leon, and Melky Cabrera drives this one high and deep to right field. Piscotty's going to run out of room, and that one is well out of here. Melky Cabrera puts the White Sox up 1-0. Their turn to jump out to a lead via a solo home run. This one off the bat of Melky Cabrera, 6th inning. Todd Frazier at the plate, .311 batter, 29 home runs and 88 RBIs for the White Sox All-Star. And he's going to ground it to second. Jace Peterson is there. Easy play on to Will Myers at first. And at the end of 6, it's still 1-0. White Sox with the lead. On 3 hits, the Twins no runs on 4 hits. Trevor May comes into the ballgame now. He is summoned from the bullpen. 7-4 record, 5.18 ERA. And he is facing William Manning. And Manning is going to do some damage. 2-run home run for William Manning, the White Sox second baseman. He shows some pop in his bat, drives in a couple. It's 3-0, Pale Hose with the lead. Runner going, I believe that was Tim Anderson. And Anderson is gunned out by John Ryan Murphy to end the 7th inning. It's 3-0, White Sox leading. We move on to the 8th. Chris Sale, your league leader in complete games with 5, and he is looking for another one, pitching deep into the game in the 8th inning here, facing Will Myers with 2 outs. Nobody on, a 1-2 count, and Will Myers swings through the fastball. So Chris Sale is through 8, and it looks like he might be sailing to another complete game shutout. But in the 9th inning, he runs out of energy, and the White Sox have to bring in David Robertson to try to close out the game with the tying run at the plate in the form of Jace Peterson. Runners on the corners, and Jace Peterson is going to ground up the middle. Diving play by Anderson, and he throws Peterson out. What a play to end the game. Chris Sale gets the win. He goes 8 2/3. Gives up 6 hits, no runs, 11 strikeouts, and 1 walk. David Robertson comes on for his 29th save. So the White Sox take the series 2-1. They lead the season series 10-6. I think they're the only AL Central team that we are trailing the season series against. So let's look at the standings as we bring this episode to a close. The Blue Jays have run out to a 5-game lead on the Yankees, 5.5 over the Red Sox. The Twins, 3 games over the Tigers, 9 over the Indians. Out in the West, the Angels, a 2-game lead over the Rangers. And right now, the 2 wildcard teams would be the Rangers and the Yankees, but the Tigers are only a half a game out of the wildcard, as are the Red Sox. So, very tight wildcard race. And all 3 division races are fairly tight, with the Blue Jays having the biggest lead of 5 games. Senior circuit standings. Washington, 4-game lead over the Phillies, 6 over the Mets. In the Central, the Cubs have a 5-game lead on the Cardinals, who have jumped over the Pirates. Pirates have been struggling as of late, but the Cardinals and the Pirates would both be in the postseason as wildcard teams. The Phillies are not that far behind, and the Dodgers, with the best record in all of baseball, have a 16-game lead on the Colorado Rockies in the West. So they are probably going to be the first team to clinch their division. And that is it for Minnesota Twins franchise episode number 151. Next up, we're on the road at Kauffman Stadium, a 4-game series with the Kansas City Royals here on Mama's Basement Sports Gaming.